Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video on the channel, and this time it's going to be Daily Race C, it's Group 4 at Catalunya, no time to set a qualifying lap, so we're going to start this one from the back of the grid. Now, that's not something we normally do, so hopefully we can move forward, although we've not done this race much this week. This was actually the first race I think we'd actually done, so yeah, we'll see how far we can get from the back of the grid. So fuel map 6 for that little rolling start there, back down to fuel map 1 to start the race, and off we go. Now, if you've found yourself coming back to this channel more than once and you don't know why, and you're still not subscribed, then I think that's a sign that you should hit that subscribe button. And yeah, if you do that, then, you know, what's the worst that can happen? You know, you might see me on track and I might, you know, wave to you, so, you know, just basically say hello every now and again, come into the live stream, wave, say hello, all that kind of good stuff. It's all very friendly and fun. But anyway, yeah, bottom line is subscribe or else. But apart from that, let's get back on with the race. So here we go, we've got one position already taken up there. We managed to make the move down the inside into turn 1 as the door was left massively open. Don't think he actually even realised I was there as he kind of spun off behind me as he turned in and careered into the side of the car. So not the best start for that person, but we have managed to move forward and catch up with the group ahead, and that should hopefully give us some slipstream, let us save a little bit of fuel, because fuel saving is going to be, as I said, very, very important. You can see it's a 10 lap race, the fuel map's already down to nearly just 9 laps remaining, and we're only sort of midway through, well, 3/4 of the way through the first lap. So up into the first of, well, it's a huge dive bomb section here, and you can see a couple of them going a little bit wide. We managed to squeeze past the Viper on the right hand side there. We've got a little run there on the Alpha, but we managed just to close the door on us. It's going to go a little bit side to side though with that WRX there, but all good natured, nobody getting too upset about that type of contact in these touring cars as we make the sort of follow through on Robbie in the Alpha there. Follow him through, give him a little push, help him through the chicane, and off we go back down the home straight. So we've finished obviously lap 1 unscathed, picked up 3 positions. You know, it's all good so far. We've got a run on Robbie here. Now we need to decide, do we just continue to fuel save behind the Alpha? But no, we've decided we're going to burn a little bit of fuel. We're going to try and get up to that pack in front and use the WRX pace to do that. So you can see here we've caught up slightly, and the puff of smoke there suggests something's happened. There's a car off on the right hand side, there's a car off on the left hand side, it's all kicking off, there's skidding about everywhere. You can see the Danish player coming back into the side of the Swiss driver there. Absolute chaos, but we've now got a really good run up into this left-hander, which is a huge, as I said, dive bomb zone, but we've got the run. Give the driver a little bit of space on the inside, but he's just going to push us completely off the track, giving us absolutely no space. So we're just going to snap a little bit here. The red mist did descend, and we're just going to push our way back through. And we're just going to fight fire with fire, but unfortunately he gets a little bit of the last laugh in that sense there, as he tries to absolutely end my race by pushing me into the gravel, but he failed, and he then gets a little dose of karma because he gets shoved wide there, and we just give him a little shoulder barge in the way past there, just to say, yep, that's me, I'm here, still ahead of you. Because, to be honest with you, it was just the type of thing that really, really annoys me in a race. I get that the guy was probably really annoyed that he had been pushed off the track and come back on and ended up losing a couple of positions, but that wasn't my fault. So to take it out on the next driver you come across is just completely wrong. It's not the appropriate thing to do. It's just going to cause more and more issues as the race develops and for future races. So I was just annoyed, and I just thought, no, I'm not going to continue to be the victim in these cases, because I've been pushed off the track more times than I care to imagine, and I generally always just get on with it, maybe just wait to the aftermath, and, you know, ask in the lobby what was going on, try to be a bit, you know, try to be reasonable with it. But sometimes, you know, you've just got to just get the elbows out and just let people know that you're not there just to be pushed around. So that was kind of as much as that race sort of held for us in terms of drama, because we kind of cruised through the rest of the race with not much happening. Managed to pick up one more position and come across the line there, and a very, very respectable P6, to be honest with you. Now let's look at the incident with the Dane in more detail. Now that's where he was obviously really annoyed. The accidentally terrible rejoin from the Suzuki. He comes back on, has a little bit of contact there, but his race is not over by any stretch of the imagination. We're only on lap 2, and he's still in the top 10, so we've now got the run, we've got past him. I get that he was obviously angry and he was like, didn't want to lose any more positions, but here, he's just not even attempting to allow any space, and he just runs us off the track. He actually loses another place by doing that. We then just send it back up the inside of him, the way he did to us, and then he just clearly deliberately tries to end my race by putting me into the gravel, because that could have caused a massive spin if all 4 wheels, but I managed to just keep the front right on the track, and that little shove there, I just couldn't. I actually had anger in me as I drove round there. I could have easily not touched him there, but I just wanted to let him know that, that's not on. Here it is from my perspective. It's always good to see both angles. You can see, obviously, I gave him the space on the inside. He doesn't give me that respect back, so if he's not going to give me that respect, well, you're just going to get that back. However, I'm just not that skilled a dirty driver, and he just clearly knew what he was doing there by just tucking in behind and just nudging me off. Unfortunately, he didn't finish the job off, and probably thought he'd got away from me, but here we go. We're just going to give him a little barge there. See you later. Not enough to end his race, but it was enough to let him know that I wasn't to be pushed around and I wasn't accepting what he did on the previous couple of corners. So, anyway, that was that. The red mist had descended. However, we're now into a new race. We're back, we're calm, we're going to race normally, we're going to race nicely, friendly. Let's all just be friends in this race, please. As we start again. Again, that fuel map 6 during the rolling start. If you're not doing that in a fuel saving race, then you're giving yourself an issue. It does help, every fume counts. So we've got key 25, a couple of places ahead in this race. I think this was being streamed by him during this, so a little bit of pressure there as the Finnish driver just brakes incredibly early there, giving us a massive gap to go into. I didn't actually want to go for that move, but it just either presented itself in the form of I either punt him or I avoid him by overtaking him. So thankfully for him and me, I chose the latter. Now you can see here, absolutely huge group of cars ahead. One's off on the left, hopefully won't rejoin and kill us. We get past safely, and this is the good thing about the rolling starts being fixed. We're getting more action like this on lap 1, which is great to see. So PD, they did listen, they did fix a problem. There's plenty more problems they could fix, but baby steps and all that. Now we're going to come round to this left-hander, and if everybody survives this, I'll be quite amazed. But it just shows you, if everybody races respectfully and cleanly, it can be done. Again, round the right-hander, easily, a very easy place to push people off. But we're now 3-4 wide, a group of about 8 cars heading up to one of the most difficult dive bombing sections of the track. Can everybody get round just about? A couple of casualties on the right hand side. Spaniard there coming back on with a rejoin, manages to slot in. Now remember that Spaniard's name is I don't know what he's trying to do there, kind of shove into me there as I was already in his inside. But we've now got we're behind someone with a 4.5 second penalty, so who knows what kind of atrocities they must have committed to get that, as we've got 2 cars off on the left. And again, the rejoin, yeah, it's just one of the features of Gran Turismo 7 that could, you wish players were more aware of, but it happens. We're just going to have to put up with that type of rejoin. Anyway, it kind of blocked us off, and we lost a bit of time and a bit of speed from it, but we're going to try and just keep with them. We've got a car on our inside there, we're going to brake as late as we can to fend them off, which we do. We're right back on the tail of Gran, and you can see up ahead there the 4.5 second penalty victim, the Dutchman. So we're hopefully going to pick up that slot that spot when he serves that penalty. As you can see, the Alpha on the left going really wide there, so he presumably will have really dirty tyres here, and as you can see he does, as he slides wide again. So we're going to try and get the move done up the inside there of Gran as we're coming up to the tight left-hander, so we're going to probably have the back out here. Too wide doesn't really work. We just about survive it and tuck back in behind. Again, it's, you know, one of these things where respectful racing breeds respectful racing, unlike that last race. You know, if Cram hit, he could have easily pushed me wide there, but he didn't. Gave me enough space to let me get round the corner and tuck back in. So these things are what you need to understand, the affect how other players play. Now, as we're coming up to the heavy braking zone, watch out for this guy who just absolutely sends it. Now that's the Spaniard from previous who was way off the track at the same point and made the rejoin, then was shoving into us as we went up the inside. So I don't know if he was trying to take me out, but he was definitely trying to take somebody out, and he did successfully, and then rage quit. So yeah, he's obviously just lost his cool. But yeah, I'm not one to talk. I did lose my cool in the previous race, however we didn't do it in such a manner that killed somebody completely or rage quit. So I believe there are ways of doing it that won't harm you to the extent where you're just absolutely making a fool of yourself in a race. Now, skipping forward onto lap 4, we're going to come through the chicane here nicely up to P8, although we did lose a lot of time battling. We've now got one of the most annoying track penalties in the game. If that chicane isn't hard enough, the track limits make it exceptionally difficult. It's so hard to keep your speed through there and not pick up a track limit penalty. So unfortunately we pick up a track limit penalty, and that's going to, you know, causes an issue because the cars behind aren't that far behind. And you can see here we're going to serve the penalty, and the Dutchman who had the 4.5 second penalty goes flying past us. The Flying Dutchman, you might say. And followed by the German, and we've got somebody going off on the right. Is it? Well, I think it might have been Slippery Racer, I'm not sure, but certainly slipped off the track and into oblivion. Don't know where he was going, but RIP to him. So back through the chicane again for the 5th time of the race. Now, taking it through quite nicely there, keeping up the speed, and you guessed it, what we're going to receive? A 1 second penalty. So 2 consecutive 1 second penalties. That is heartbreaking to say the least. Now, really frustrating to get 1 second penalties like this consecutively, because you're just going to lose so much time. Now, thankfully, you're going to see we're going to serve it here, but the Dutchman had a ½ second penalty, so that was just enough to slow him down enough to keep me in the slipstream, which was crucial, because the slipstream helps you obviously save fuel, and we might obviously still have a chance of picking up some positions, because apart from that we were going to be left in a pretty lonely spot in the race, mid-pack, with nobody really close behind us or in front of us. But the German and the Dutchman are now having a good battle, which is good for me, because hopefully that will keep me well within the slipstream. And you can see it is, as we're going to cross the line to end lap 6. So a good 3-way battle potentially going to be developed, and you can see starting lap 7 that is going to be the case, because by the time we got to the end of lap 9, all 3 of us were still very much having a really good close battle. Now, for all the dirty driving that happens in Gran Turismo, this last lap is a testament to how good some of the racing can be when you've got 3 drivers, albeit in the same car, which people will obviously be disappointed in. However, when everybody's in the same car, it does give good close racing, and it does then come down to driver skill, because if we all get the same machinery underneath us, then nobody has an advantage in any particular department. So it's, you know, I love battles like this when we're all in the same car, because, as I said, I feel like it really does test the driver's skill as opposed to any advantage on an actual car. However, we've got some work to do here, because we've got not a lot of fuel, we're kind of on the limit of fuel, because when we're serving those penalties you end up revving the car out to try and catch back up, and yeah, it just doesn't bode well for efficient fuel saving. So I'm presuming they've maybe got a little bit more fuel than me left, so I just need to kind of sit in and hope for some chaos to ensue, hope for a mistake. And I think the Dutchman just went slightly wide there, and is he going to pick up a half-second penalty? He is. However, he won't serve it in this lap. That's going to turn into a 1 second penalty by the end of the race, so we need to be within a second of him. And we're also going to pick up a space here, because the Israeli is serving a penalty, although he just tries to get his position back by absolutely sending it into us. It benefits us because he kind of half takes the German out, who manages to then tuck in behind us. So I'm assuming that was just driver error from the Israeli there. So we've got one position, we've managed to get past the German. The Dutchman is just over a second ahead, and we need to be within 1 second to try and get that coveted P6. It's all about the P6 now, and we're just within a second, so this is looking like a strong possibility that we might get a result. But just to confirm it, the Dutchman, whose race started with a 4.5 second penalty, ends in the enigma of face planting the wall under no real pressure. So a nice little message there from the German who we were racing most of the race with, telling me that he'd sub to the channel. So why don't you sub to the channel now? Because, well, why not? We're pushing on, we're having some good races, some good battles, making some good videos. I hope that people are enjoying them. And we've got the live streams now happening on a regular basis, so if you want to, you know, get involved and see some fantastic live stream action, then, you know, and you can see in the background there, we've got the dirty driving videos as well. Now, I make no apologies for the dirty driving videos. You know, they are what they are. They are happening out there. I'm not going out looking for people to dirty drive against me, but if people are going to do it and I want to highlight it, then I'm going to, because you guys seem to enjoy watching them, and I actually quite enjoy making them, to be honest with you, because they're quite entertaining. You know, after the rage is gone, they're quite entertaining. So thanks for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.